Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Lindsie Chrisley fears S*X tape will be leaked, 'cause Chrisley knows best alum. Lindsie Chrisley fear that a sex tape of her will be leaked. She has faced this issue before, as have many folks in the reality and Hollywood sphere. Yet, who recorded her and how did she bring this up? Keep reading for more details on the Lindsie intimate video scandal. Lindsie Chrisley fears S*X tape will be leaked. Life has been a mess for Lindsie Chrisley for quite some time, but she has always found a way to rebound and smile. She was estranged from her family, went through a divorce, and then thought she had found a good man. As a single working mother, that is a beautiful thing because it does make all of the extraneous drama feel lighter. She and Trent began dating in 2023 and appeared quite happy. Unfortunately, that all came to an end after a year together in early 2024. Luckily, Lindsie has two podcasts, Southern Tea and Coffee Convos, with teen mom alum Kylie Lowry. At the same time, her parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, are behind bars, something her sister, Savannah Chrisley, blames her for. The family has their estrangements, and it has not been an easy road. Yet, Lindsie has shown her resilience. Now, she is opening up about an alleged sex tape that could see the light of day. According to a Reddit thread, she talked about what was going on in brief detail via her Southern Tea podcast. Per the OP, they wrote this: Southern Tea, sex tape. So Lindsie is clearly talking about herself in her podcast episode today, right? Trent recorded her and now she's scared he's going to leak them. That is terrifying, as this is not the first time she has faced something like that. In 2019, Lindsie Chrisley was with Robbie Hayes of The Bachelorette. Apparently they were filmed, but it was purely accidental. Supposedly, Todd Chrisley and Lindsie's brother, Chase, were threatening to release the tape of her and Robbie per her allegations. History repeating itself. Now it appears that history is repeating itself with another sex tape, but this time, Lindsie Chrisley's boyfriend may be doing the leak. So what did followers make of all of this? They were immediately reminded of the Todd Chrisley scandal. It just reminded me of when Chase and Todd bought the dog cam video of her hooking up with a bachelor guy. Do you think Todd watched the video? Lol, guess she didn't learn the first time. Then, some followers did not believe a word she said and felt Lindsie brought it on herself. I call BS. Recording sexual acts without the other party's consent is illegal. We all know how quick she runs to the law. She's pitched a fit for a ** of a lot less of an issue. I know I'm sorta stereotyping this woman a bit. At this point, listeners will just have to wait and see what will happen with Lindsie and the leak. Maybe she will shed more light on all of it to clear up some confusion. Lindsie Chrisley sat alone in her modest kitchen, staring at the soft glow of her phone on the counter. The aroma of her freshly brewed coffee usually brought her comfort, but today it merely added to the tension pressing down on her chest. A single notification blinked on her screen. Anonymous source claims possession of Chrisley family scandal footage. She didn't need to read the article to know what it was about. For months, there had been whispers in dark corners of the internet about a private tape featuring her. A ridiculous rumor, she'd thought at first, something concocted by trolls with nothing better to do. But the whispers had grown louder, and now they weren't just whispers, they were threats. Lindsie's hand trembled as she took a sip of her coffee. Her mind raced back to the possible origins of this mess. Years ago, during a tumultuous period in her life, she'd trusted someone she shouldn't have. Could that person have betrayed her? Could they have held onto something so private, so personal, only to weaponize it now? Her phone buzzed again, snapping her out of her thoughts. It was a message from her dad, Todd Chrisley. Lindsie, call me. We need to talk about this. It's serious. Todd's text made her stomach churn. Their relationship had always been complicated. The family's highly publicized legal battles and her decision to distance herself from the drama had created a rift that seemed impossible to mend. And now this? Did he see her as a daughter in need of help, or as a liability to his carefully curated public image? She hesitated before replying. Typing out a brief "I'll call later," she set the phone down and let out a shaky breath. A storm brewing. The Chrisley name had always been synonymous with drama, but this felt different. Unlike the usual tabloid fodder, this was personal. Lindsie knew the impact such a tape, whether real or fabricated, could have, not just on her reputation, but on her sense of self. To the public, she was a reality TV star, a member of a family known for their southern charm and over-the-top antics. But behind the cameras, she was a woman who had fought hard to carve out her own identity. She had distanced herself from the chaos of her family's world, choosing instead to focus on her podcast and her role as a mother. But the past had a way of creeping up when you least expected it. That afternoon, she decided to confide in her best friend Haley. Over glasses of wine in Haley's cozy living room, Lindsie finally let the words spill out. "They're saying there's a tape," Lindsie whispered, her voice cracking. Haley's eyes widened. "A tape? Like?" Lindsie nodded, unable to bring herself to say the words. Haley reached out, placing a reassuring hand on Lindsie's arm. "Do you think it's real?" "I don't know," Lindsie admitted. "But even if it isn't, the damage is already done. People will believe what they want to believe." Haley's face hardened. "Then we fight back. We get ahead of this." The Chrisley conundrum. Lindsie's next move was to consult her attorney. The legal implications of this alleged tape were staggering. If someone truly had possession of such a thing, releasing it without her consent would be a blatant violation of her privacy. But proving who had it, and stopping them, was another matter entirely. "Do you have any idea who might be behind this?" her attorney asked, his pen poised over a notepad. Lindsie hesitated. A few names flitted through her mind, ghosts from her past she'd rather forget, but naming them felt like reopening wounds that had barely begun to heal. "I'm not sure," she said finally, "but whoever it is, they're doing this to hurt me, to humiliate me." Her attorney nodded, his expression grave. "Then we'll need to prepare for the worst. If this tape does exist, we'll file an injunction to block its release. And if it doesn't exist, we'll sue for defamation. Family ties." Despite her efforts to handle the situation on her own, it wasn't long before her family became involved. Todd, ever the patriarch, called a family meeting. "You're a Chrisley," he told her firmly when she reluctantly showed up at his Nashville home. "And we don't let anyone mess with our family. Whoever's behind this, we'll destroy them." Lindsie wasn't sure whether to be comforted or alarmed. Her father's bravado was legendary, but it often came with a price. "What if they release it?" she asked, her voice small. Todd leaned forward, his eyes blazing. "Then we'll show them they picked the wrong family to mess with." Savannah and Chase, ever eager to insert themselves into the drama, chimed in with their own opinions. "Honestly, Lindsie, this could be a good thing," Savannah said. "People love a redemption arc. You could spin this into something positive." Lindsie shot her a withering look. "This isn't a storyline, Savannah. This is my life." Chase, meanwhile, was more concerned about his own image. "Just make sure this doesn't blow back on the rest of us," he said. The meeting ended in a swirl of raised voices and unresolved tensions. Lindsie left feeling more alone than ever, facing the storm. Over the next few weeks, Lindsie focused on damage control. She worked with her lawyer to issue a statement denying the existence of any such tape and warning potential perpetrators of legal consequences. She took to her podcast to address the issue head-on, speaking candidly about the challenges of living in the public eye. But the anxiety never fully went away. Every time her phone buzzed, she felt a pang of dread. Every time she logged onto social media, she braced herself for cruel comments and invasive questions. Through it all, she clung to the things that mattered most: her son, her close friends, and the small victories she managed to carve out in her daily life. She refused to let the rumors define her, even as they loomed like a storm cloud on the horizon. A new chapter. In the end, the tape never surfaced. Whether it was because it didn't exist, or because the legal threats scared off whoever claimed to have it, Lindsie didn't know. What she did know was that she had come out of the ordeal stronger. For the first time in a long time, she felt a sense of clarity about who she was and what she wanted. She wasn't just a Chrisley or a reality TV star or the subject of tabloid speculation. She was Lindsie, a survivor, a fighter, and a woman determined to write her own story. And no scandal, real or imagined, could take that away from her.